Welcome to another deep dive. We really tear into the source material here to bring you insights you might not expect.
Things that connect the dots.
Exactly. And today we're plunging into something massive, something that totally reshaped manufacturing, but honestly, it's almost always misunderstood. Taiichi Ohno's production system.
Right.
Now you might think, oh, the Toyota production system, or maybe lean. But here's the kicker we want to start with. Ohno system. Not the same as TPS, which is not the same as Toyota's system today, and none of them are quite lean.
That's a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
Because Ohno's original vision, it wasn't just, a toolkit or some generic efficiency plan.
Yeah.
No, it was fundamentally a philosophy about adaptive learning, about human development. So our mission today, go way beyond the buzzwords.
Forget the 5 S's for a minute.
Exactly. We're digging into the why behind Ohno's hows. We'll look at its surprising roots in cybernetics, the hard physics of the factory floor, and the, frankly, profound human philosophy that makes it tick.
Think of this as your shortcut, a way to grasp the real genius built on decades of, relentless trial and error.
Decades.
Okay, let's get into it. Cybernetics. Now, Ohno never used that word, right?
Not at all. But his system, when you look at it through that lens, it aligns perfectly with the science of cybernetics.
Which is about control, communication, adaptation in complex systems.
Precisely. How any system, think a living thing or a factory, survives and actually grows by constantly adjusting to its environment.
Okay, so how does that connect?
Well, there's this key concept from a pioneer named Ross Ashby, ultra-stability.
Ultra-stability.
Yeah. Imagine your own body. It's always making tiny tweaks, heart rate, breathing, maybe you shiver, sweat, all to keep your core temperature stable, right? No matter if you're running or sitting still.
Keep things in the safe zone.
Exactly. Ohno's system does something similar for the factory. It keeps essential variables, things like cost, quality, productivity viable. It stops them spiraling out of control.
Because if they did,
the whole thing becomes unsustainable. Costs explode. Quality tanks. It falls apart.
Got it. So Ashby talked about feedback loops for this.
2 distinct loops. And this is where Ohno's genius really clicks into place.
Okay, loop 1.
Loop 1 is about frequent small adjustments. They maintain stability, but they don't change the system's basic structure. Think of your home thermostat.
Right, clicking on and off to keep the temperature steady.
Exactly. It's continuous, but follows fixed rules. In Ohno's system, this is the day-to-day running of the line. You've got Kanban cards pulling materials, judoka stopping the line if there's a fault.
The constant sort of locked-in behavior that keeps things running smoothly.
That's the first loop, but then there's a second loop.
Okay.
This one acts less often, only when those essential variables, cost, quality, maybe output, are seriously threatened. And the key thing, this loop can change the system's fundamental structure. It leads to totally new ways of working.
So this is the deep adaptation, the learning part.
That's it. And Taiichi Ohno himself, he was that second loop. When big problems surfaced, he didn't just tweak. He'd step in, experiment, maybe completely rethink a process until a new, more robust, stable pattern emerged.
Which explains why just copying the tools doesn't work.
It never works. You miss the whole adaptive engine underneath. You miss Ohno, metaphorically speaking.
Right. This connects to another Ashby idea, doesn't it? Requisite variety.
It does. Only variety can absorb variety. Basically, your system needs enough possible responses, enough flexibility to handle the range of challenges the world throws at it.
And in TPS, that's...
Well, working in the process, keeping things stable day to day, that's the first loop. But working on the process through Kaizen, through continuous improvement, that's the second loop, building that necessary variety, that adaptability.
Interesting. And this leads to something you call bootstrap Kaizen.
Yeah, it's inspired by Doug Engelbart, a computer visionary. You know how early computers started simple and sort of bootstrapped themselves into complexity?
Loaded basic programs to run more complex ones?
Right. Engelbart thought organizations could do the same with improvement. Start small, but improve in a way that actually improves your ability to improve. It compounds.
He had a model for this.
A simple but powerful ABC model.
Yeah.
A, activity is your core business. Making the product, serving the customer, the day-to-day stuff.
Okay, standard work.
B, activity is improving how you do A. Asking, how can we do this better, faster, cheaper, higher quality? That's typical process improvement.
Makes sense. So what's C?
C, activity is improving how you improve. Asking, how can we get better at doing B? How do we improve our improvement process itself?
Whoa, okay, that's meta. Multiple feedback loops.
Exactly. And Toyota lives this. Even if they don't call it bootstrap Kaizen, they focus hugely on developing people's capability.
So employees don't just use improvement tools.
They learn to create their own tools.
Yeah.
While doing that, they're building the thinking skills, the problem-solving muscles, to then create even better tools and methods later.
So the improvement capability grows right alongside the improvements themselves.
It's an engine. An unstoppable engine for progress, built layer by layer.
Okay, beyond cybernetics, Ono just seemed to get the raw physics of the factory floor.
Oh, absolutely. He had this deep, intuitive grasp of how things actually worked, which led him to principles captured much later in things like the VUT equation from factory physics.
VUT, variability utilization time.
Close. Variability, utilization, and processing time. Basically, it shows how your cycle time, how long it takes one unit to get through everything, is linked. It's roughly proportional to variability times utilization times processing time.
Okay, so what's the big insight there?
The killer insight, and it trips people up constantly, is that it's nonlinear, especially the utilization part. If you crank up utilization, try to keep machines or people busy 100% of the time without tackling variability first.
Uh-oh.
Your cycle time and your work in process, your WIP, they don't just creep up, they explode exponentially.
Like traffic jams. Smooth flow, you can add cars, but erratic driving.
Gridlock. Perfect analogy. High variability means even a small increase in utilization causes massive delays. Low variability. You can run much higher utilization without things grinding to a halt.
And Ono knew this back then.
He knew it in his bones. He saw stability as the absolute bedrock. You couldn't improve anything reliably if the process itself was bouncing all over the place. Variability Mura, as they call it, was the enemy.
Which is why he insisted on standard work, create that stable baseline.
Exactly. And why tools like Kanban were crucial not just for inventory, but to smooth out the flow, synchronize things, dampen that variability between steps.
Okay, but he also stressed something critical about inventory, didn't he? About WIP.
Yes. Reduce WIP only after you've achieved stability. Cutting inventory before your processes are capable and predictable, it's suicide.
You just starve the line.
You hurt throughput. Art Smalley puts it brilliantly with 4 simple questions. Are machines reliable? Is material consistently available and good quality? Enough trained people? Basic work instructions followed.
If the answer to any of those is no,
You stop. You fix that problem first. Don't touch the inventory buffers until the foundation is solid.
okay, but hang on. This seems contradictory. If high utilization is risky with variability, why did Ono famously challenge teams to run with one fewer operator but maintain output? Isn't that cranking up utilization?
Fantastic question. It seems contradictory, but it's pure Ono genius, tapping into the human element.
It wasn't just about cutting costs?
Not primarily, no. It was about developing people. That challenge created, let's call it, productive discomfort.
Productive discomfort, I like.
It forced the team immediately to find and eliminate waste they hadn't seen before, to make the invisible variability visible. It demanded efficiency gains. Remember Ono's quote.
Knowledge is something you buy. Wisdom is something you acquire by doing it.
Exactly. This wasn't about spreadsheets. It was about learning by tackling a real tough problem.
So it was a powerful teaching method disguised as an operational challenge.
Precisely. It embodied respect for people, not by making things easy, but by trusting them to solve hard problems, fostering that capability, that autonomy. Fujio Cho called it hands-on human resource nurturing.
Guided by Genshin Butsu, go and see.
Always. Stability first, tackle variability relentlessly. And remember that developing thinking is the ultimate goal.
Okay, so variability is inevitable. You can reduce it, but never eliminate it. How do systems cope?
Every system, consciously or not, uses buffers. There are only 3 fundamental types.
Inventory, capacity, time?
You got it. Inventory buffer. Parts waiting. Capacity buffer. Machines or people waiting. Time buffer. The customer waiting.
And if you don't manage variability well,
The system defaults to the time buffer. Lead times get longer, customers get unhappy. It just happens.
so the genius of Toyota was how they chose to buffer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They couldn't afford massive inventory like Ford. It wasn't an option. So they had to get incredibly smart about the capacity buffer. Redesigning equipment for quick changeovers. Just in time to only have materials when needed, cross-training workers so they could flex, running smaller batches. It all built flexibility.
I heard they often ran 2 shifts, not 3.
Right. That third shift window wasn't always idle. It was planned maintenance time, it was recovery time, it was a built-in capacity buffer. It allowed them to absorb shocks and maintain flow during the main shifts.
Letting them run with way less inventory but still be responsive.
That was the magic. Strategic use of flexible capacity.
And this ties back to their philosophy, too, that 1977 paper.
Yes, Sugimori, Cho, and others. They explicitly said carrying excess inventory or surplus capacity wasn't just costly, it actively hindered developing worker skills and finding problems.
It hides the problem.
It hides the problems. They saw inventory, stock on hand, as, and I quote, only a collection of troubles and bad causes.
Wow. Strong words.
But JIT forces those troubles out. Low inventory means any glitch stops the line, potentially the whole plant. Everyone sees it.
Visible control.
And it pushes the authority to fix things down to the people doing the work. It empowers them. Sounds risky, maybe, but it was their strength.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. Quality. Poka-yoke. Error-proofing.
Shingo's brilliant contribution. It's about preventing the defect from ever happening.
Unlike Jidoka, which stops the line after a defect occurs.
Right. Poka-yoke is proactive. Prevention.
How should we think about it?
Start by asking, where's the information on your shop floor, your gemba? Fujimoto points out that it's not just manuals. Every part, every tool, every fixture carries information.
They're information assets.
Exactly. And information has to be physical, embodied in something. If that information gets lost, corrupted, or ignored during production, you get a defect.
Give me an example.
Think of a simple door handle. It tells you open here, but not how push or pull. You add a sign, maybe. Better, a flat push plate. It physically constrains your action. The design itself carries clear, unambiguous information.
Or the classic USB-A plug. Only goes in one way.
Perfect Poka-yoke. It prevents the error. USB-C is even better reversible, eliminates the error category entirely.
So errors happen when people act on bad or missing information.
Often, yes. Poka-yoke embeds the correct information right into the physical process or product. Ideally, it makes the error impossible.
It designs the mistake out.
Through intelligent flow of information, embedded physically, minimizes human error without blame.
Underlying all this tooling and technique was Ono's core philosophy, wasn't it? Rooted in realism.
Deeply rooted. Influenced by Zen, Confucianism, sure, but also very practical. Western scientific management ideas.
Yep.
But his absolute core belief. Reality is at the gemba.
The actual place where the work happens, not the meeting room.
Definitely not the meeting room. For Ono, the gemba taught you everything. Facts came from watching, touching, understanding directly, not reports.
His cycle was simple then. See problem, act, learn.
See it, try something, learn from doing. The jock circle story is famous for a reason. Stand there, watch, for hours if needed, until you see the waste you stop noticing.
Because wisdom comes through doing.
Just try it, he'd say. If there are two opinions, let them each try it for one day. Learn by doing.
He hated reports, delayed data.
Despise them. Go see with your own eyes and you will understand. Immediate direct observation was everything. And he hated blind copying.
Why?
Because you'd only be as good as the company you copied, and you'd never understand why it worked or how to adapt it when things changed.
It all comes back to Genji Genbutsu.
Go and see. And the Sangen Shugi, the three rails. Genji, actual place. Genbutsu, actual parts or things. Jinjitsu, actual facts. Reality, grounded.
He even warned against getting too hung up on the categories of waste, right?
Yeah, the famous 7 types were just a starting point, a way to begin seeing. His real message was, just get on with it and do Kaizen. Don't get lost in categorization. Find the actual waste in your process and fix it.
He sounds more like a coach than a theorist.
Very much so. He believed people truly developed wisdom under pressure, under challenge. That one less operator thing wasn't cruelty.
It was fostering problem solving.
Cultivating autonomy, capability, forcing them to find their own answers. He trusted that once people really resolved to do something, the necessary wisdom arises. You had to create the conditions for that resolution.
Okay, last piece. This is fascinating. How our own minds can get in the way. Weber's law.
Yeah, from psychophysics. It's about how we perceive differences. Basically, we notice changes relative to the starting point, not in absolute terms. It's logarithmic.
Meaning?
A small change against a quiet background is obvious. The same small change against a noisy background, you barely notice it. Think phone screen brightness.
Glaring in a dark room, invisible in sunlight.
Exactly. Our perception adapts, it gets used to the baseline.
So on a shop floor.
Problems that would shock an outsider become normal, invisible to the people there every day. Small inefficiencies, minor deviations, they just blend into the background noise. Familiarity breeds, well, blindness to waste.
Like adding one more speck of dust to a dusty table. You don't see it.
Precisely. So how do you fight that? How do you keep seeing the waste?
This is where Ono's methods come back in.
This is where his genius really connects. He seemed to understand this intuitively. He trained himself and demanded others train themselves to overcome this perceptual limitation.
The chalk circle again.
It forced people to break through that adaptation, that habituation, to stare until the normal background resolved back into specific instances of waste. He wanted a linear perception of waste where small things mattered just as much as big things. He was retraining their perception.
Wow. So seeing waste isn't just about knowing the categories. It's a skill you have to constantly practice and refresh.
Or it decays. You have to actively fight Weber's law in your own mind. Go back to the djembe. Look with fresh eyes. Pretend you've never seen it before.
Think with your hands and see with your feet.
That's the spirit. Or as Heinz von Forster quoted Don Juan, you can only see things that you can explain. Forget about explanations and you will see.
Suspend your assumptions to truly observe.
That's the discipline.
Okay. What a journey. We started by saying Ono's production system isn't TPS, isn't Toyota's system, isn't lean.
And hopefully now you really feel why those distinctions matter so much. It wasn't just a static blueprint.
No, it was this living, breathing, adaptive system built on cybernetic loops, a deep feel for factory physics, managing variability smartly.
Using flexible capacity and time, not just inventory. Embedding information physically with Poka-yoke to stop errors before they start.
And driven by Ono's relentless focus on the djembe, on direct observation, on learning through doing, on challenging people to grow.
And finally, understanding that even our own perception needs constant training to keep seeing the waste, fighting against that Weber's law of fade out.
These aren't just dusty historical points.
Not at all. Timeless principles, managing complexity, developing people, driving real improvement anywhere. Even today, with AI and everything else, the core ideas hold.
So the big takeaway for you listening?
Before you grab the latest tool or buzzword, understand the deep principles. What problem was it really designed to solve? What's the underlying thinking?
Reflect on your own djembe, wherever that is for you. Your office, your code, your process.
Where can these ideas help? What waste have you stopped seeing because it's just always been there?
Go to your djembe, observe, think, act.
And never stop improving.